version, which I just figured out recently, where you can use YouTube Premium Music or YouTube Music, as well as your Wi-Fi hotspots that you might get for free with your internet subscription plans. And you can create the similar Music as a Cellular Service package with that. All right, so what is Music as a Cellular Service? Well, basically, it's the idea of bundling the entirety of the music ecosystem in terms of music, all kinds of genres, all this kind of stuff. Basically, much of the stuff that's on YouTube, because all the big labels are on YouTube and all the indies are on YouTube, and a lot of niche things are on YouTube that aren't available elsewhere. And so you take that and then you bundle it with a subscription to a cellular system. And the reason that you do this is because you don't need a cellular package to be able to acquire this package. And this package is much more reasonable in terms of price. So something like this can go from free, which is supported by advertising and using the piggybacking concept or the bootstrapping concept of using Wi-Fi hotspots, or up to maybe $20, $25, depending on what you want to do per month. This is kind of the idea behind it. And the point is that you avoid a $125 fee for a cell phone or a $100 fee or whatever it creeps up to. And you just have a flat system that just, you know what you're getting, and it's just about music. And so the point of this is that you carry around one essential profile so that it covers your entire listening ecosystem. And so it will be able to translate and mix the different systems because of things like YouTube playlists. So each device, each gadget, each setting will have its own playlist, and maybe it's integrated where it can have recommendations or whatever. But you can already do similar things like this, as I said, even now in 2026, though this concept, this niche in the market, doesn't really exist. So what we're really doing here is we're taking a concept that's been long overdue to restructure like radio music that's delivered through streaming so that it's more viable for the ecosystem of the music industry and of musicians. And what they've been doing is they have a advertising-based structure, but it doesn't really support the careers of artists. It doesn't really support the talent. It barely supports the business structure. And so what we're doing here is we're saying, well, if you just subscribe to this service or listen to the advertising, then you're going to be supporting the actual business model, because the idea of the free ecosystem of business has been a farce. And it's all about selling people's data. It's all about this stuff. And yes, there can be some of that too with music as a cellular service. But at the same time, there's not an explicitly outlined path to be able to take like a internet-enabled portable speaker and just drop it in the middle of the park and just have it be able to accept music. That should exist. I think that should exist. And the way it's supported is you have, like I said, the advertising tier, you have business partnerships, you have the gadget itself that can be a unique gadget that's called the cellular boombox, or you can have unique cell phones, which are called the stereo cells, which basically are mainly created to fulfill this void in the market of a super powerful musical ecosystem that's portable and mobile without having to rely on redundancies of devices. So, for instance, you would use the analog version of your cell phone's audio jack or another cell phone, and you would control the device through that theoretically, instead of using the redundancies of like wireless connections on top of wireless connections like Bluetooth, pairing, all that. It's plug and play. It's not hope that it pairs and play or hope that the streaming rate is decent and play. So with YouTube Music, you can actually lower a little bit the quality of the audio stream. And therefore, if you were using Wi-Fi hotspots or low data transfer spectrum, you could increase the probability of a good signal. So YouTube is really the winner in this market because it has the most extensible playlisting and it has the most music, really. And it already has a sort of model in place, but what it doesn't have is a way to beam the music to anywhere you're at. And about the only place that you can't receive a service like this is over the ocean. But there's other ways of getting around that, like there's satellite communications, and there's also creating a buffer where maybe there's like 2 hours worth of music or 6 hours worth of music that's recorded or downloaded. Or maybe when you play your favorite music and you click like, it gets sent to like a buffer so that it gets sent into your saved, played, downloaded section, so that later on, if you don't have access to Wi-Fi, you don't lose the signal to be able to get access to music, because it's on your hard drive that's built into either your cell phone that's attached to your cellular boombox, or your cellular boombox that has an interface that can be accessed through these hard drives and whatever. So anyway, that's the gist of music as a cellular service, some concepts about how it can be, created as is, or if the right people like AT&T, Verizon, Sony, UMG, Warner, if they got together, YouTube, if they get together, Apple, if they get together, and JBL, and they start working this out and fleshing this out, just like you have another kind of device on the horizon, the cellular boombox, the stereo cell, which is basically the speaker system that's already pre-integrated. And so one of the other masterpieces of this concept is that you have a logging in factor. You don't have to worry about like pairing or setting up crazy amounts of stuff to be able to link, let's say, 5 devices or whatever, because what it is you just log in to each of those devices. So it's similar to like how you would have like a Roku profile, and then you would log into one profile, and then it would carry over to multiple TVs. So this concept is because you can have the same YouTube profile controlling multiple devices, especially if it's YouTube Premium and you don't want to buy multiple subscriptions to it. You could just have the one profile, and each device has its own playlist set up ready to go so that it fits the setting that you have in mind. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. That's music as a cellular service in 2026.